fired up hot takes. That's our lightning round. Questions are asked, and the panelists give their point as to whether they agree or disagree with a comment or two, and then they move on. I, as the host, reserve the right to go back to a panelist to clarify or respond to another panelist's take. So we'll make this the second question because I have to find it. But the first question, we'll go to you, Tyler. Is the Associated Press weaponizing language through its style book, as the White House claims?
Yeah, I totally agree. It's funny I was hoping you'd direct this question to me. This is one of my favorite topics. A favorite author of mine is George Orwell, and Orwell writes a lot about language. And one of the things that I thought about a lot with the left is the way that they use and manipulate and weaponize language. They've been doing this for decades, since the 60s. And what we're seeing right now with the conservative movement uncovering all this is simply the public becoming aware of the extent to which the left systemically has done this for decades. And yeah, of course they are. Weaponization of language by the left and its many outlets, such as certain parts of the mainstream media. This is just a tool in their arsenal to try and shape debate and restrict the set of thoughts that you can have.
Exactly. I agree. G.
Yes, absolutely. And a great example to what Tyler was saying is from the left, you're either pro-choice or you normally think pro-life, but they say, no, you're anti-choice because that sounds more negative. And so that is weaponizing the language. And I think the Associated Press wants to continue that.
Miss Annette.
Yeah, well, yes. Are you saying, Tyler, A Brave New World, or are you thinking 1984 is George Orwell, right? So
Orwell.
Yeah, well, I'm reading A Brave New World right now too. But anyway, yes,
Huxley is great as well. Yeah.
Yes, and I think it's sort of it seems like to me. I mean, I'm reading them backwards, but I already read 1984. But what I wanted to say to your point is to G's point. Well, that's not so subtle, your point, G, but it's very subtle how they do it sometimes too. And I catch it mostly, I always bring this up all the time, William, in my daughters, because how they will, my daughter, who I disagree with a lot of times and who's in New York, how she'll say, oh, but they said this. And I'm like, wow, look how they warp language. Look how they like distort it. And it actually works on people like over time.
Correct. So I agree with everybody. And my take is the term illegal alien. That is a legal term for an illegal alien. And that was a government term. And the AP on their own changed it to illegal immigrant, then undocumented too. They always softened it. I first noticed this over 20 years ago in my previous job as a writer. We had my company would sit there and get a new AP style book every year to our writers. And I just noticed little changes like that. So that is most definitely happening. Okay. Is designating Mexican cartels, MS-13, and Tren de Aragua as global terrorist organizations the right move? And what justifies it? G.
Well, okay, so our Border Patrol is going to come at them with PP shooters while they have machine guns? I mean, that's the problem. So we need to use our military weapons against them.
Don't say PP shooters. I'm thinking,
So it does justify it. I mean, if we can use drones and attack them and save our American lives, yeah, I'm all for it.
Right. Yes, Big John, I understand pea shooters, but yeah, pea shooters. It's not PP shooters.
Okay.
I was going to say just one.
Yeah, just unzip and they fire at him. You know? That's not fear of God unless you're John Holmes. I gotta go to you though. Can't go to that with that one.
Why can't you go to me ever? I think about
John because he said John Holmes.
I put out going for
okay, fair enough.
If you don't know who that is, don't ask.
I actually don't know who that is. Should I know who that is?
That's good. Okay, so what are your thoughts, Ms. Annette?
Oh, I actually have a question about this. Why now? I don't know. Something about this feels sus to me.
I think why now? Because Trump, he only has 4 more years left. He saw how he was treated for 4 years and how they tried to impeach him. And I think all that has culminated into his, excuse my French people, well, I won't curse. I don't give a bleep. And this is what we're going to do because it's the right thing to do. That's what I personally think is how Trump's looking at his whole next 4 years. So I don't know if there's a conspiracy theory as much as Trump has always been anti-drug too. And from day one, when he took office his first term, he was anti-fentanyl. He brought that to America's doorstep in educating America about fentanyl, and it's only gotten worse under the Biden regime.
Didn't you watch Narcos, William?
No, I did not watch Narcos, to be quite honest.
Because it would say again that we're a big part of the problem too. I don't know. I don't like this. Go ahead, Tyler.
So I think it's a great thing. I think we should have done this a while ago. Yeah, I'm against invading Mexico. Like that's not a good thing. But okay, maybe sending in like a Delta force to exterminate like El Chapo and his entire like top legal lieutenants. Yeah, that sounds good. I'll say it like this. If Obama can do drone strikes on American citizens, then I think Trump should be able to do drone strikes on Mexican cartels.
So my take is simple. I can't remember which novel it is, but it's a Tom Clancy novel, and they made a movie of it with Harrison Ford.
Yes.
And they're looking at satellite photos, and somebody goes, "Damn, that looks like a freaking F-16 went in there and dropped some bombs," and that's what had happened to the cartel's home and mansion. And I'm all for that. They know the life. They want it, so I'm all for that. Get drugs, and you know what? Life's not fair. Life's not fair, but it's I don't know the word, but it's a fine line. And the sad truth of it is, the more you do it, the more normalized it gets, and the more it escalates. I only point you to Vietnam and Cambodia. I actually had friends who went into Cambodia on Spec Ops who tell me about it when I was a little kid. All my family friends were all Spec Ops. Well, they weren't called Spec Ops; they were just Green Berets.
Is it clear and present danger, William?
Yes, clear and present danger. Thank you.
I should be like the resident. I should be the resident movie. Yeah, right here.
Oh yeah, it's one of his best books. All right, we'll start with G on this one? Because I know he's probably into this. Should Argentina's president Javier Milei face impeachment over the Libra crypto scandal as his opponents demand, and why? And for the audiences, he sent out a tweet kind of pushing some crypto, and when he did that, everybody bought into it. But as they were buying into, all the investors were selling and maximizing. G, your thoughts?
No, I don't think he knows what he was doing. I mean, he didn't personally enrich himself from it. He just put out something that, hey, our country will prosper from this. And then he did basically what Elon Musk did, I want to say about 3 years ago, when he said, well, I'm going to make sure that Tesla stock doesn't go below $420. And then Tesla stock, remember that? And I would say that would have been a lot more prosecutable than someone putting a tweet out there saying, hey, this Doge or whatever, the Libra coin would help prosper our country. Oops. I mean, so I don't think this is an impeachable offense, but it's politics, right? His opponents will argue otherwise, of course.
Tyler, another example of an individual who did this is Hawk. Y'all remember her.
That's what I was just thinking about. Yeah, she made a big boo-boo. Yeah.
So what are your thoughts? Should he be impeached, or like, gee, yeah, he screwed up and made a dumb mistake here, and that's what happened. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm a big Javier Milei fanboy. Afuera. It's like my favorite thing. But I mean, I really hope he didn't do this or make some private profit off of this. I mean, if he did, I think that, in the United States, I think we should be a nation of laws, not men. And I would hope the same applies in Argentina. If someone broke the law and it's an impeachable offense, they should be impeached.
Right. And our producer,
but I hope that it's not, because I like Javier Milei. So.
And our producer chimes in, Musk is well known for manipulating Doge prices. Miss Annette, your thoughts? Should he be impeached?
Well, I agree. I want to answer that question because I like him too, Tyler. And I guess you do too, G. I like him. No, I don't think he should be impeached. I feel like he's got his political enemies looking for any little thing that he does.
I agree. He has the elites are out to literally kill him if they can, because of everything he's doing there. He has literally taken the chainsaw to that government, but it's worked for the better, and the elites do not like that. There is truly a caste class of less than 10% of the haves, and everybody else is dirt poor. Okay. Did Kaitlin Collins post about Luigi Mangione's defense website as legitimate news item or to support his cause? And what motivated her action? So let's keep it. We're dragging it a little bit. So did she put that tweet up on purpose to support him, or as she claims, was it news? Annette.
I'd say both.
Ooh, okay. Okay, you want to say why you think that?
Because I think she does support him, and I think a lot of people do. And I also think that it is newsworthy because I think a lot of people are really interested in it, actually.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's a newsworthy story.
All right, Mr. Tyler.
Yeah, it's definitely newsworthy. I don't know exactly what her leanings are. Maybe she did it on purpose because she likes Luigi. She's trying to get in his DMs or something. I don't know.
She's in awakening because he can't get his DM going.
He's getting a lot of mail, though. He's getting a lot of mail.
Yes, he is. And those would be some very unsatisfied DM women. Gee.
That's like being in a chocolate factory, but you can't eat chocolate because you're diabetic. I mean, that's a terrible situation to be in. I watched Kaitlin Collins do a primary town hall with Trump, and I don't necessarily like her because she treated him like she was his ex-wife, just harping on him the whole time, and it was very annoying. So as much as I'd like to attack her on this one, I have to say, I think she just saw it as legitimate news and it was newsworthy, and people ascribed that to her because they don't like her as much as I don't like her. So I think she's innocent on this one.
Right. So she was doing it just to support him. It was it was her personal site. So one, if CNN could have reported it. 2, this website's been up for a while. 3, she could have posted, he's got a defense website, but she also posted the URL. So she was doing it because she supports Luigi. It was newsworthy, but that was an excuse because she was posting it so people could go to his website. That's my take. And as everybody knows, it's my show, so I'm right. All right. Is there even an inkling of truth to what Margaret Brennan said about Nazi Germany weaponizing free speech to conduct the Holocaust? She said the Nazis used free speech to round up the Jews. This one's a little bit complicated. She was talking to Rubio. She tied it to J.D. Vance and his Munich speech about, hey, you guys are locking people up for saying things you just disagree with. And she sat there and she tried to tie Vance to Nazism. Gee, your thoughts?
No, I mean, if she had meant that they basically weaponized the law against people who use their free speech, she would have been correct. That's what Germany did. But no, that's ridiculous. So there's no inkling of truth to what Brennan said.
Mr. Tyler.
No. And then furthermore, let's say even if she was right, if you're taking away freedom of speech to save democracy, well, you've destroyed democracy in the process. So what are you even saving?
Shades of Zelensky, Ms. Annette.
Well, you could have started with me on this one because I was up Sunday morning watching it, and I thought Marco Rubio's response was great. No, and I think she sounded like an idiot. I do. I think she sounded really uneducated. It was a stupid comment.
Right, and I was like, she's wrong, but I couldn't quite word it. But this is the best way. After 1933, the Nazis abolished free speech entirely, using censorship and propaganda. So they actually had no free speech. They just rounded you up. Well, I'm exaggerating. They started you first with your little sign on your suit jacket or whatever. Then they use those emblems to identify you and round you up. Okay, second to last question. Is the wall surrounding the Vatican built to keep others out? And should the wall be compared to the U.S. wanting a stronger border? This is in reference to Father Martin. Sounds like a TV show. Father Martin, Jesuit Father James Martin, a gay rights activist, asserted the Vatican is not a walled city. Tyler, we'll start with you.
That's just ridiculous. It is literally the definition of a walled city. So how about they take down the wall first and then we'll talk?
Gee.
We were just there about 3 years ago. That's a big, beautiful wall. I don't think Mexico paid for it. But I think they do. The benefit they get out of it is they can restrict who can come in and out. So it's not the area is not trashed. So I think they utilize the wall to keep people out.
So they're trying to keep Rosie O'Donnell out. Ms. Annette.
Well, I mean, it's hypocritical in some ways, but yeah, it's obviously the very definition of a walled-in. I don't know if I guess it's Vatican City. So yeah.
Exactly. And for the audience, the Vatican's 40-foot high, 2-mile long walls were built by Pope Leo IV in the 9th century to protect against the Islamic Saracen raids after the sacking of Old
That just
Saint.
sounds xenophobic, William.
Yeah, I know. In 846 AD. So they built the damn wall to keep people out. All right. So let's go back to Ukraine here to close out the show. Should we have a quid pro quo considering all the billions we've sent Ukraine? This is in reference to the rare earth minerals and us. Hey, man, without us, y'all don't have millions of dead in your war. Be thankful. We want your rare earth minerals. Should we have a quid pro quo, Annette, with Ukraine for the rare earth minerals?
What? Okay. If there's anything you should start with me on, it should be like the Vatican. I'm all things Pope. Just go have me last here. This is the one you should have me last on, William.
All right. Well, okay, we'll go to G on that one.
I mean, I don't like the idea of quid pro quo. We just gave them a ton of money. I mean, it was a donation. And so what do we get out of it? Well, Biden doesn't want anything out of it. And Kamala doesn't know anything about trade except for, growing up middle class. So Trump's going to get something in return, and we should. That's rightful. You just don't get – those were North Carolina homes and L.A. homes given over to Ukraine. I mean, that's the money that was sent over. So I think we should get something for that.
Tyler.
100%. We need to get something for this. I think this whole idea of the post-war liberal order, that we're just enforcing this for the sake of the rules-based order. This is old news. We need to put American interests first, and we gave Ukraine these resources to defend its sovereignty. Now we need to get something for ourselves.
Annette.
Okay, guys. I agree with both of you.
My take is simple. After World War II, Europe was decimated. We were rich, the most powerful country in the world, and we could afford to give money without expecting a return. We're 37 trillion in debt. The world has completely changed. This war only exists because of us and the Ukrainian being pushed by Europe. So yes, we're in a different era. We should have gotten something out of Iraq, all that oil that they have over there. So yes, we need to get something out of this. And for the audience, there is an update because Zelensky was saying, we're not going to do this. Yet, as I said earlier, Zelensky brought this to the U.S., the form of partnership, and that's a smart move. If we're invested in Ukraine, we're more apt to protect and defend them, whether it's through negotiations or whatnot. So today, Zelensky did agree to sign a minerals deal. They haven't signed it yet, but it is in the process of being worked. And to the audience, this is extremely important because we signed away all the rare earth mineral deals to China, who's producing them for us. So if we go to war, they just go, boop, and turn the spigot off.
They've already turned the spigot off. There's several key materials that they're not supplying the U.S.
And in fact, Trump, during his first term, gave the green light to start producing to start digging up for them in the rare earth minerals here in the States. So yes, this is something that is needed. And there you have it, my friends. Tyler, how about plugging your show that we do together?
So we do a once a week Fired Up California, and we record that on Sundays. You can watch it Monday on YouTube or X, formerly known as Twitter. That's my working impression of you, William. We're gonna keep doing that.
You got to get the. You got to
work on
it. G's going to be hosting Fired Up here in a couple of weeks, so look forward to that. And Miss Annette Ross is currently featured on the Big Questions with Big John, which is his interview show. So make sure you tune into that. So everyone, let's torch this woke geopolitical mess and wrap it up. Trump slamming Zelensky hard, calling out his failures while Zelensky's whining about being sidelined, and Vance is riding shotgun, doubling down on America First peace. So who will win out? We all know it will be Trump. Whether you like him or not, he's proven to be right so far.
Hey everybody, this is Big John from Grumblings Media, and I just want to say thank you for watching our content. If you want to support our efforts here at Grumblings Media, just smash the subscribe button right here, totally free, or just go ahead and consume more of our great content. Click either one of these two boxes.